Wednesday, September the 8th, 2021, and I'm about to undertake a 10-mile circular of Tring. It's a Saturday Walkers Club walk, which I first did in 2010, so 11 years on, and it was a cold December foggy day, so this walk needed redoing. And it was at the time when YouTube only allowed me to do 10-minute videos as well. So today, by contrast, got a cracking day, probably the best of the week. However, unfortunately for me, seeing as I'm walking at height today, well, relatively for our area, it's a bit breezy. Wind gusts in the 20s, so there could be some wind interference today, which is a shame because I've been waiting to do this walk for a while, but the wind might be an issue. I'm starting here at Little Gaddesden. This is the church of St Peter and St Paul. For logistical purposes, I tend to start the walks nearest to my home as I'm driving, and then walk round appropriately. More environmentally friendly that way, I think. So, it's about 1 o'clock, well in fact it's now 1:15ish. I hope to have this done by 6-ish. So let's press on and see what awaits. I'm going to do this in an anti-clockwise direction, hoping to take lunch at the highest point, Ivinghoe Beacon, and then take it from there. Just as a point of interest, I'm currently stood at around 620 foot now, per my GPS even, sorry. The path I've just come down brings you out next to the Bridgewater Arms, which on the main walk would be the lunchtime stop if you started at Tring Station, which obviously I'm not. There she blows, and there's a nice garden next door to it, which is currently full, amazingly. So here we are, just found the footpath, which is now the Chiltern Way. Quite hard to find, it's actually in the car park of the pub. So a couple of 100 yards in, scenery's starting to take shape, partly why I chose this walk today as well in the heat. Plenty of tree cover, and I think there's a golf course next to us on the left here, soon find out. Yes indeedy. Currently following the Ashridge Estate boundary trail, as you can see there. Passing the back of some wonderful houses there on my right. Now entering the Ashridge Estate, past this small car park, having just crossed this minor road here. Just over a mile in now. Once again you can hear the jet noise, probably from Luton this week. I do recall this being a very decent walk even on a foggy December day. Today it's wonderful. Mixed woodland, giving a lovely cool temperature in here. There is a bit of an easterly breeze today, as I say, that's keeping this place like a fridge in here. Great at this time, midday heat and all that. Yeah, look at that deer. It's just got wind of me. Early tints of autumn colour just starting to arrive with the beach. Birch. What else we got in here? the invariable ash dieback there. This walk would be good for autumn colours for sure, as well as bluebells in the appropriate months of the year. Okay, I'm just passing by the small car park at Docky Wood here, which by all accounts is very good for bluebells in season. I've come off the GPX track a little bit, but it's easy to get back on. Now come out into an open field next to Docky Wood, and again I'm still off the GPX track, but not far off it. Continue here straight ahead through this gap in the hedge, and there are plenty of house martins flying around here at the moment, all gathering up together for their long onward journey shortly, making the most of this lovely last summer day for them probably. And also I notice a group of greenfinches starting to gather, so sign of the times, autumn is coming. Right, do a left here towards these farm buildings, still following the Ash Ridge boundary trail, or probably more likely back on it because I came off it, veered off the GPX trail. But had I stuck with it, that's the direction I would have come from. To reach this way marker here. And then on my right you get some idea of the view we're going to encounter soon. And why it's a shame that it's a bit breezy today. Not so much the temperature, which is welcome, but the wind strength, which isn't. Now funnily enough, the GPX track goes over towards the farm building more, but it's clearly evident that path has probably been rerouted slightly to go past the farm buildings at this end. Both ways are public rights of way, but it would appear that the household there probably prefer us to take the one straight ahead here. That on my right is looking over towards Dagnall on the map. Yeah, so I was right, the GPX track has been rerouted slightly, but it's only by a matter of yards, so that the occupants of Wardshurst Farm there don't get disturbed. That's a pretty good vista on my right. And we're now joining the Icknield Way, amongst others, as we enter a place called the Coombe on the map. Good to see the National Trust are enforcing that cyclist prohibition. And that over there on my right is Hanging Coombe per the map, and it's no coincidence that this area is called Ash Ridge, and you can see why. Once again, ash everywhere. It's really going to be a major loss to this area. Be interesting to see what the National Trust are proposing to do with it, because as I say, Ash Ridge is a massive home to ash. Part of a wildlife walk here, and as you can see, beech and ash trees have many holes in them where branches have fallen. Stock doves and jackdaws. Wow, don't recall seeing a stock dove recently. Not sure I'd recognise it. Certainly can hear jackdaws. Now entering a very dark coniferous section. Cypress, I think. Or larch, one or the other. Yeah, don't know. Could even be spruce. Not so sure of my conifers. As you can see, the path is bordered on both sides by these trees. Wonderful. Spoilt only by jet noise today, which is quite incessant actually, considering the times we're living in. As I said last week, I don't know where these people are coming and going to, considering there's bands on. Onward journey straight on here, not to the right. Very South Downs like here at the moment. Wonderful. Nice backdrop here. One of the original Icknield Way, Pedder's Way marker posts. Well, it includes the Ridgeway as well, which we're now joining on my left. Well done, West Herts. Now in the very distance there, you can just make out a white lion. Needs to be remarked really, and you can clearly hear behind me what I mean about jet noise. Okay, if the wind's not too noisy, hope you can hear me. Done my best with the soundproofing. I'm now stood on Gallows Hill, away from Ivinghoe Beacon, which is quite busy at the moment. We'll get that on the way back. But what a vista, eh? Dunstable Downs over there, I do believe, with its zoo and what have you. This is kind of looking north, as far as I'm able to tell. Northwest. There's the Ivinghoe Beacon behind me there, higher ground. I'm stood at about 670 foot here, so equivalent to South Downs type stuff. Now looking sort of eastwards, and where the lion is there, I do believe that must be the zoo, I don't know. Now southeast, back into the woodlands where I was earlier. As I say, it's unfortunate I've got such a stiff breeze today. Can't seem to win with the weather, but I can't complain today compared to the last time I did this walk. Didn't get much filmed at all really because of the fog, which just goes to show how it can be here. And there we are, back to the beacon. Right, it's around 3 o'clock. I'm having my lunch here, away from the busy beacon up there. Right, getting amongst these bushes I think. It's about 4.5 miles into the walk here, so a decent sort of position to break. Right, 3:30, lunch has been had. Time to leave this wonderful view for a few minutes. wind is still picking up as some rain is due overnight, I do believe. Trig point here. I'm recording about 723 feet. Don't know what it is officially. Pretty different view to the last time I was up here, when I could hardly see anything because of the fog. Nice to contrast with the original video 11 years ago, and interesting that I'm still using the same camera. Amazing, eh? Good advert for Panasonic. So that's pretty much a 360 now. Someone's nicked the information panel that used to be here. Left a pair of keys instead. Interesting, there's an old windmill over there in the very far distance. Clearly wouldn't have seen that last time. Journey ahead of us here. There are a couple of options henceforth. I did toy with taking the new shortened version through woodland, but I think I'll stick with the main path, which essentially follows the Ridgeway, i.e. the outer path. This looks pretty new. Lots of feet have been crossing this over recent years. Looking back at the beacon, and the erosion is pretty clear from this distance. The shorter option can be accessed through those bushes there. Onward journey for us though is the well-worn route here, of which there are quite a few people on it today, as you'd expect probably. Wonderful, eh? As I say, could almost be on the South Downs. Very, very similar. Brings back memories. Don't know what the ridge is in the distance. Southeast of here, probably more of the Chilterns, I don't know. That's interesting. This gate was donated the last time I did this walk. Well, in fact a year after. So it wouldn't have been up then. The Dunstable Bog Trotters, 2011. Got a feature here called Icknield Hole on the map. Reminds me of the similarities to the one at Pitstone on the Barton Hills walk. Certainly has all the features of a glaciated valley. Dry valley now I think it's called. Now coming out into open country, and this so far has been a proper walk today. Haven't done one of these for a long time. Wonderful variety, nice challenging sections as well, physically. Fantastic. Just a shame about the jets, as I say. I'm on the 202 metre contour line per the map. 634 feet per my GPS. Not bad differential. Views back to the beacon at Ivinghoe from Pitstone Hill. Sun's gone in a couple of minutes. Wonderful man-made reservoir down there, surrounded by woodland. Still excavating on this side though, whatever the mineral is. Looking south from Pitstone Hill, getting a bit hazy now. So last time I had fog, today I got a bit of heat haze. Get another view of the conservation work going on here. Good the way they're reclaiming it. Fantastic. This section I'm walking along here is referred to as Grimm's Ditch on the map. Now a lovely section of woodland walking through Aldbury Nowers. Again, spoilt by the jet noise, unfortunately. Information board here about flowers, fritillaries and skippers. As you can see, this is a nature reserve, Aldbury Nowers Nature Reserve. If you want to Google that for more information. Decent vista the other side of the information board. There's a footpath out of here as well. Fantastic. Mainly sycamore and beech in this section, but even the sycamore's got an illness. It's that fly, isn't it, that lays its eggs on, can't remember the name of it. Another information panel with information about various butterflies that can be found here. Still Aldbury Nowers. As you can see, some wildflower meadow. Yeah, incredible collection of butterflies would have been in here earlier, just a few weeks back. What a vista. You don't really get any main roads around here either. I can hear some traffic as we draw near to Tring, but generally it's the jet noise that's the problem, and that's in COVID times. Herts and Middlesex Wildlife Trust have provided a information board here about the grassland wildlife, which is the same meadow I was looking at from another angle a minute ago. We're still in Grimm's Ditch apparently, following the Ridgeway path. Very pleasant seat behind me there, capturing the evening sun. Now leaving Ash Ridge behind us. Even this final section towards Station Road Tring is a tree tunnel. Wonderful. Okay, at this juncture we leave the Ridgeway, which continues on straight ahead to Tring Station Road. Take a left, which is now back on our good old Hertfordshire Way. Tring Station being just over there in the distance, about half a mile away I'd say. There you can see Bridgewater's monument ahead of us. And familiar terrain on my right from a walk we did several weeks ago, passing those barns, if I remember correctly. So here we go, Herts County Council have been at it again. Look, as soon as the berries for the wildlife come out, they're out with their strimmers tidying up the hedges. No consideration for the wildlife whatsoever. All the verges have been trimmed. It's just, it's incredible. I have taken this up with them and I'm waiting their response. In fact, I've had their response, but I haven't read it yet. But, you know, this is terrible. They cut all the flowers and hedges early in the season when pollinators should be attending to them. And then they cut all the berries, etc. in the autumn when wildlife needs to eat them to stock up for the winter. It's a joke. Aldbury Church, which I do believe we're going to pass very shortly, and that's the village. And we're going to be up in that woodland soon for the grand finale. So at this juncture, take the right, Aldbury, 400 metres or so. It's ridiculous because the only berry that they seem not to cut is the rosehip. Very few birds eat that, to my knowledge. Yet everything else has been decimated. Absolutely ridiculous. They must have an ecologist working for them, surely. Passing by the church at Aldbury. And it is St John the Baptist, Aldbury. That clock is right. Get a better view of it from this angle. Here's the old stocks, after which the glamorous institution was named. Next to the village pond, and over there is the Greyhound Inn. We've even got Stocks Road as well, which leads to said glamorous former institution. There's a village stores over there for any late refreshments needed. Our onward journey off Toms Hill Road is towards the shop and cafe up this lane. Still following this track for the visitor centre and monument, which we of course followed a few weeks ago when I did that Aldbury Circular. So back at Bridgewater's monument. There's the current hours of the Brownlow Cafe, for those that need to know. And a sample of the old menu if you can read that. That's interesting. Closed off an area because of bat nesting. Good to see, trust. I'm now headed for Moneybury Hill for the finale, where I'm stood on this footbridge in memory of David Gordon, but it doesn't look like there's been any water in it for years. So here we are, Moneybury Hill Barrow, 4,000-year-old Bronze Age burial chamber, somewhere in there. Google that if you're interested. Moneybury. Okay, at this juncture, straight ahead there would be the shortcut from Ivinghoe Beacon. Our onward journey, I do believe, is a right here from Moneybury Mound. Very nice section of tranquil woodland walking. Very little bird song. The odd wren giving off its warning chirp. Not much else. So here we are, 6:15, tad late, 4.5 hours, 12 mile later. 12 miles my version, not the 10 I was advised per the GPX track, but no worries. That is a strong contender for the best walk I've done under COVID conditions. It's got everything in it really. Nice challenge, good views, fantastic scenery, not too bad underfoot at any time of the year. As I say, I've done that in December and it wasn't too bad underfoot anywhere, mainly thanks to the National Trust's excellent management of their paths. So that's a good walk that could be done at any time of the year, and there is a shortened option available for doing that as well. Only the downer was the amount of jet noise, but even allowing for that, like I say, probably the best walk I've done for a couple of years now under lockdown conditions locally. So that's one I may well come back to, probably not filming it, but again and again. So till the next time, take care.